it was kind of said to me as an afterthought, "Hey, you want to do a ghost tour for us?" And I said, "Sure, I'll get around to doing that." And they wanted one. I'd never done a ghost tour before in my life, but we started doing the research, and it kind of, as they say, wrote itself. I tell people ghosts are like Hawaiian shirts. If you wear Hawaiian shirts, you only have to collect the first 2 shirts, and from then on, people come running up to you with all these Hawaiian shirts. "Here, we thought you could use this." Same way with ghosts. You do the first 2 or 3 ghost stories, and the rest of them will just follow right along. We have probably something like 20 different permanent residents, as we call them, and each tour can't possibly talk about all of them. So it's up to the guide to pick and choose from this list as they go along, really. Some of us do requests. As we're walking down the street, somebody might say, "Ooh, that Spencer's building at the foot of the hill. Tell us about that," and I can go tell you a story about that. Or, "Do you have any stories about lost love?" Or, "Do you have any stories about Native American ghosts?" And yes, we have plenty of those in our repertoire. Yes, as a matter of fact, the building that we are standing in, the W.E. Merritt & Son hardware store building from 1908-ish, is one of the more haunted ones downtown. There's been stuff that's happened here, and we can't tie it to any deaths or anything, but, you know, as far as history goes, there's something that's still here, including Mr. Merritt himself. People have had various encounters with our founder many a time, and he's been gone for a while now.
So this is Mr. Merritt's office. This is where many of us really start with the story that happened here a couple of years ago with Matt Edwards, our director. This is a beautiful old oak office desk that is appropriate to the time period that the building was built in 1910. And well, the story goes that Matt was downstairs and he heard somebody come in here and sit down here. Well, we won't give the tagline away on exactly why that spooked him, but he took off when he did. But yeah, Mr. Merritt didn't believe in a lot of fancy stuff. We've got bare plaster walls and his filing system of writing the year on the bare wall with a little 10-penny nail and hanging up his the bills of lading or letters that he needed to follow up on. Yeah, he didn't believe in wasting money by having a fancy executive suite.
Right.
But he did have the only telephone in the building. I mean, I know a lot of people associate Mount Airy with its most famous telling, which is Mayberry, and, you know, our famous son of Andy Griffith and all of the great stories and the comedy that he brought to the American entertainment. But we know that people were living in the area that is now Surry County since 1749. And that this town has been a pretty thriving area. I mean, R.J. Reynolds' wife grew up here. You know, there have been things that have happened here, and ghosts don't always come from bad things. I mean, everybody meets that day when they pass on to whatever comes next. And ghosts don't always come from bad things that happen. They just pass on. And sometimes their energy stays behind, or at least that's the theory that a lot of people work with. I don't know what ghosts are, but you know, when you have such a vibrant story and a vibrant history as we do in Mount Airy, where people were building these amazing businesses in the backcountry with very little resources, and they were finding innovative ways to compete with the much larger cities of Winston and Salem and New Garden, which is down Greensboro, and Charlotte and all of these other places. But they wanted to stay here where the mountain air and the mountain water was more healthy, and just it was a slower pace. So you have all of these people doing these amazing things, and they got into some trouble along the way. We had speakeasies, and we had a lot of, we made some distilled spirits that were maybe illegally done here in Surry County, but a lot more of it came from Wilkes County. But it came through Surry County to get up into Virginia and the larger markets in Raleigh. So there were a lot of hijinks and shenanigans that went on. There's also some darker history in this area, but most of it is just normal people living their lives and dying their deaths and leaving behind stories and energy that maybe we're trying to figure out 100 years later. Well, I think the best thing about the ghost tours here is that whether you're a local, you've lived here, your people have been here forever, or if you're a tourist coming in from another area, you're going to learn something. A lot of people that live here don't realize the kinds of things that went on. The stories about William Moore, and he was a very wealthy man, and his connection during the Civil War. And people who come in from outside, a lot of people, all they see when they come here is small town America or Mayberry, and there's just a much larger, more interesting story that's only part of, that's part of the quilt that is Mount Airy and Surrey County. And this way they maybe get to learn a little bit more. People are people, people are flawed, people are funny, and the folklore that is the ghost story that people share is, it's just a great way to get into learning about history and the people that were history, because it's not just dates and events that are in some dry book. These are real people.
Friday and Saturday nights from May through November are the ghost tours themselves, dearly departing at 8 p.m., as we say. You can find out more on the website. We have a great website. It's very carefully tended. And we've started adding things to the ghost tours. Not only is there a Mount Airy ghost tour, there's a Pilot Mountain ghost tour. Again, based on information provided by the museum. There's now a trolley ghost tour. We had so many people that said, I just don't feel like doing all that walking. It's really not a lot of walking. It's about 3/5 of a mile, but still, it's downtown Mount Airy, and some people don't want to walk that far. We have a ghost trolley now that leaves at least once per month, where we tell different stories, because we're not limited to just the ghosts in downtown Mount Airy. We can take you outside of town. That's turning out to be pretty popular too. You can learn a lot about this area. Even if you've lived here for a while, you'll still learn a few things that you probably don't know. And I like to pitch it for, you have people visiting you from somewhere else, and during the day you do the Mayberry thing with them. But what do you do at night? You can go bowling, or you can go to the movies. Or on Friday and Saturday nights, you can come do a historic Mount Airy ghost tour with them. That's what I like to do, is pitch it to our local folks. This is one more thing you can treat your guests to.